Yeah, so Ole Miss right now, obviously they're still working through all the postponement from LSU and from Texas A&M. Right now it's still up in the air. It's tentatively set to be for Ole Miss to play A&M on the 12th and then LSU on the 19th. But like everything this year, it's completely up in the air. Ole Miss had a reported today that they had a couple of positives this morning, and that they're doing contact tracing with that. So they shut down practice today. They shut down the facility. So they had the day off today. And so, right now for the last couple of weeks, Ole Miss has been hoping that other people can get their COVID situations together. Ole Miss has done a pretty good job, but now, Ole Miss is having to face the same thing. So it's, like I said, it's really up in the air.
Rebels at 4-4. Jake, your thoughts about how the season's played out?
Well, I tell you what, and obviously this is going to sound biased, but in my least biased opinion, Ole Miss is one of the most fun teams in college football right now. Lane Kiffin is essentially playing with a free year. I mean, obviously everybody is this year, but Lane Kiffin's kind of gotten this whole year where he basically gets to experiment with this offense. That's what everybody was looking for coming into this year, was what was he going to do with this offense? And so it's been great because we get to basically do a dry run with this team. If we want to run it back with the exact same team next year, which it looks like a lot of the major pieces are going to be back. Matt Corral today told Lane Kiffin that he's 1,000% coming back. So, right now the vibe around Oxford, although it's 4-4, there's a couple of those games, a couple of those losses that could have gone the other way. That's how it goes with everybody every year. But we feel really good right now. We like where we're at with Lane Kiffin. He seems to just be getting better and better every week. He seems to be doing a better and better job of promoting Ole Miss, promoting, he tweets, "Come to the SIP" all the time. He markets himself, the school, the program. He does it all on his own, and he really doesn't even need any help. And props to him, because we love to see it.
So, Jake, you've got an idea what my background is. So I was down there in Ole Miss, Mississippi State country for 6 to 7 years back at the end of the 90s, early 2000s. And so I've got a soft spot in my heart for the SEC in that neck of the woods in the SEC West with Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Took in my share of Egg Bowls and other sporting events between Ole Miss and Mississippi State. So, of course, very few fans in the stadium. Just give us a feel for what that Egg Bowl was like this year versus previous years. Of course, it was a nice win for Ole Miss to come out on top, 31-24 in a pretty decent ball game. But just your thoughts about this year's Egg Bowl.
Well, going into the week, the main storyline that everyone thought was going to be, the way the game played out, it pretty much happened. We figured that Ole Miss's offense was going to push State the whole entire time, and really we figured. I mean, again, this is as an Ole Miss fan, we think Ole Miss's team last week was miles better than Mississippi State's team was. Obviously, they put on a great showing against Georgia, and so that kind of made us scratch our heads a little bit and go, maybe these guys aren't as bad as we think. But going in, everybody was thinking that it's going to be Mississippi State's defense that makes this work. Either they stop Ole Miss's offense and they give themselves a chance, or Ole Miss throws all over them, and it's over before it begins. And really that's how it played out. Mississippi State's defense was good enough. They held them in the game. Obviously Ole Miss went for it. I think 5 or 6 times on fourth down. Missed out on the first couple of them down in the red zone when they were looking to cash in on points. So obviously the score could have been a lot different. Maybe some of those turn into field goals. Maybe you call a different play and you score a touchdown. So really and truly, I don't really think the score was very representative of it. It felt like Ole Miss dominated the whole game. It felt like Mississippi State was having to play catch up the entire time, which, I mean, that's just the best feeling in the world. And so, coming out of that game, like I said, we really like where we're at. We think this team is doing a great job of trending upward. Obviously we don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the season, but if we were to be done right now, we'd be happy with how this season would be, and we'd be as fired up as possible going into next season.
And Ole Miss is right on that line of allowing about 20% stadium capacity. Is that
20 to 25, I think. I don't remember what the exact number is, but it's 16,000-ish, something like that, I think.
Which is a much better atmosphere for college football than we've seen elsewhere. At least it's something. It's some energy in the stadium. So I have picked around at Ole Miss a little bit this year. I saw most of the Alabama game. I saw the exciting portions of the Auburn game. Unfortunately, a loss there that's very controversial, or we're looking at a 5-3 season right now. So I saw the second half of the Auburn game. I was in and out of the Egg Bowl here. So Matt Corral, 24 touchdowns, 9 picks, completing 73% of his passes. Um, you set us up well a number of times in the offseason for Corral and John Rice Plumlee and what his contribution might be to the offense. I seem to see Rice Plumlee more so early in the season. What is factored into? We know Corral's the guy, but Rice Plumlee getting in there, making some plays, and getting some packages.
Well, really and truly, going into the season, obviously, so Lane Kiffin didn't announce that Matt Corral was the starter until game day. We did not know until the day of the Florida game that he was going to be the one. He was going to be QB1. And so after that, we thought because of that we would see a lot more of John Rice Plumlee than we have. But really and truly, when it comes down to it, it's nothing against John Rice Plumlee. Matt Corral has just been absolutely lights out this year. I mean, you mentioned he's got 9 interceptions. 6 of those were in the Arkansas game. So
that's right.
Outside of that Arkansas game, I mean, really and truly, if you take away that Arkansas game, Matt Corral is in the Heisman conversation. There's a lot of numbers where if you wipe out that Arkansas game, he's up there. He's better than Kyle Trask in a lot of those areas. And one of the things that we keep seeing week in and week out is, the passer rating and just how efficient he is. He's up there in the top 5 in the country. And like I said, he threw 6 interceptions in one game. So, like I said a minute ago, really and truly, it's not anything that John Rice Plumlee has done wrong. It's just that Matt Corral has been firing on all cylinders better than we could have ever imagined.